Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another episode of Amazing Worlds. And today I want to not talk about books. I may talk a little bit about comics, but fundamentally I'm really excited because I just finished watching in one go the new series on Amazon Prime, The Boys by Garth Ennis. So, The Boys in Amazon Prime, first season out, 8 episodes, brilliant stuff, funny, a lot of what the F moments going on, which is what you would expect if you're familiar with the work of Garth Ennis. So, The Boys is a TV show based on the comic, and it just follows a group of superheroes, and they're not exactly the nicest kind of superheroes out there. If you're familiar with the work of Garth Ennis, or if you're not, Ennis started in UK comics, kind of on the independent sector, and he's always been characterized for coming up with really out there, crazy, what's actually going on here moments. His first major work was in the Hellblazer run, where he took over the writing job from Jamie Delano, and it took the Hellblazer social commentary sort of things that characterized Delano's work into a lot more the occult, demons, wizards, monsters, nightmarish sort of thing, which was great. From there, there's a lot of ideas that you could see would eventually make their way into Ennis's most recognized work out there, which I've got in the shelf here. So the Preacher series, which was also turned into a TV show by Amazon Prime. So if you're familiar with Preacher, again, it's very much like what's actually going on here, who thought of these crazy situations and ideas. In Preacher, the basic premise being an angel and a demon mate together and creating this organism called Genesis, which will sort of bring the end of the world again. And a preacher, his girlfriend, and an Irish vampire set out on a massive road trip to defeat this creature. So a really, really warped, crazy imagination to come up with those ideas and the adventures that those three get involved. And then, just to turn it up another notch, Ennis wrote or started the first batch of the Crossed comic series. I've got Crossed here. So Crossed is taking the Walking Dead idea of a zombie apocalypse, but oh my god, here the zombies are still sort of sound mind. They're not completely stupid and gormless, and they just come up with the most evil, twisted, messed up ways to hunt and eat humans, and it's absolutely disturbing. I mean, it is messed up. Whatever you see in Crossed is just totally messed up, almost messed up for the sake of being messed up. It's just incredible. And after that, Ennis did a lot more serious work. He did a whole array of war-themed stories, mostly around World War II, but also covering other wars in between. Very serious, very well researched, detailed work, which I've got here. The first 4 tomes of Ennis's war stories. Hopefully a 5th one coming soon, because I'm really enjoying this. I strongly recommend them, just to show that comics are not all about superheroes, and they are not all about weird stuff like Crossed and Hellblazer. And that brings us to The Boys. In the past, people have hailed Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns as the comic that turned things dark in the 80s. I'm not so sure. Then, kind of only 1 or 2 years after, came the definitive superhero deconstructing comic that definitely, in my mind, finished off, pretty much killed dead the superhero genre. And obviously I am talking about The Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. Absolutely fundamental must-have in any collection, really looking at the psychology of superheroes and what kind of person would like to put on a costume and go out there fighting crime. And that definitely did something for me way more than Miller's Dark Knight Returns. So in a way, The Boys, instead of looking at the messed up psychology of what kind of deranged man, woman would put on a costume and go out there to fight crime, in The Boys, Ennis has taken the opposite view almost. If you had superheroes, would you really go out there and save the world and be a nice guy? Or would you actually use those powers to self-aggrandize your image, to become rich and basically do everything you wanted? And it's not really that you would be a supervillain trying to dominate the world. That's not the case. In the modern day and age, you will want to be a billionaire, you build your brand, you will present yourself in a really positive light as the savior of mankind, and have a massive organization, a corporation behind you. And that's what The Boys is about. Superheroes are run by a corporation for profit, where image is a lot more important than style or substance. So the personalities of those superheroes are really messed up, which, coming from Garth Ennis, you wouldn't expect anything else. Now the show, it's funny, it's got a lot of who would come up with something like that moments. The superheroes are complete a-holes, most of them, to the vast majority of them, and then you've got a cast of misfits trying to expose them and show them for what they really are. First season out, only 8 episodes, not a single one of them bad. I mean, I watched it with my wife, and every time we finished one, she was like, oh, let's watch the next one, let's watch the next one. And she's not even a comics fan, but you know, the show really does something there. It grabs your attention, presents superheroes in a completely different light. And the good news is that the show will probably run for, I don't know, 5, 6 seasons maybe, I don't know. The Boys, the trade paperback collection itself, I think is 12 volumes, so there's certainly enough material there to run for a few seasons. And the best news even is that because Ennis has been writing it, there is a really good guarantee of quality writing and plot and character building throughout the whole season. The thing is not going to falter. Ennis has proved time and time again his abilities as a writer in Hellblazer, certainly Preacher, and The Boys. Even though I haven't read the comics, and I've got a friend who kept on urging me to read them, I'm sure I'll try to get my hands on them at some point. He's not gonna fail there. So really enjoyable, good laughs, certainly not suitable for children, but really recommend it. Give it a go, give it a watch, leave your comments, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Take care, bye.